It exactly looked like your dream property. You paid, you got your document, you even congratulated yourself for having made a smart property investment decision. But months down the line, you've discovered that what you saw or what you paid for is not actually what it really is. How devastating can that be? And for those of you in the diaspora, this is even more devastating because you are investing hard-earned money thousands of miles away. This is actually one of the scams that is common in Nigeria. By the way, my name is Uche Chiwanosike, real estate consultant based in Port Harcourt. Share this video with some other persons, a friend, a colleague, or anyone you know that wants to make property investments, whether here in Nigeria or from the diaspora. Today, I am exposing 5 real estate scams that you need to know about or you must avoid before you pay a dime for any land or property in Nigeria. Let's start with the first one, the hidden charges ambush. You finally agreed on the price that the agent tells you, or better still, the one on the flyer. You were excited, the property is 30 million naira per plot. But later, suddenly you hear development fee, documentation fee, survey fee, and even agency fee, all of which were never captured in the 30 million naira. Before you know it, 30 million naira is going to 60 million naira, and you're already stopped. So you have no way out. What happens at the end? Sometimes you might end up losing your money. That's a scam. Just to be clear, not every additional fees or charges are illegal or a scam. Of course, you know that. It is a scam when it is deliberately concealed, waiting for you to be emotionally and financially committed to the cause. A situation where you have little or nothing to do than to go on. Meanwhile, you are emotionally draining and you're financially involved. Here's my advice to you. Before you pay anything, ask for the total financial breakdown to be written on paper. Have it clearly stated. Because a cheap property today can become an expensive mistake tomorrow. And let's look at the second scam. The company that was never the real company. This one is very frightening. Some people call it franchise or affiliate marketing. You meet someone who represents themselves as company A. You have the same brand name, the same logo, the same website, the same Instagram page, and even Facebook page. You verified everything, you checked. And the question is, are you really dealing with the right person? Even if you are abroad, that becomes even worse because we only have access to online channels to verify. The truth is that most scammers and fraudsters are well trained in their act of impersonation. So before you send or transfer any million, especially those of you in the diaspora, please be sure you're not verifying only the logo. Verify the company or the brand behind the logo. That will save you a lot. Now let's look at the third scam that has cost people a lot of money today. This document looks official. It has the surveyor's name, it has signature, it has the coordinates, and even has a stamp. And then you think that's a land document. And so you can go with it. But what if it's fake? What if it's something that was doctored, altered to suit the target or the aim of the person? That's what makes the difference between receiving a document and verifying it. Yes, you might have a beautiful piece of paper as a document. It is totally different from verifying actual land. Here's my advice to you. You have to establish what the document actually represents. In other words, visit the site, see the actual property, verify to make sure that the figures you're seeing on the document, the beacon numbers, tally with what you have on the ground. Verify these things, the location, the actual location, the name, and everything that you're seeing on the document, that it tallies with the location that you've been given. It is then you can actually say, yes, I have a land. Let's look at a fourth scam, listing that belongs to another person. In other words, you see a property online, beautiful property, beautiful flyers, attractive price, attractive location, and then you contact the person that promoted the property. You got talking, you made payments. And then after making the payment, you now discover something very, very horrifying. The person that has impersonated the rightful owner has no authority to sell that property. In fact, they can even go as far as taking you for site inspection on a property they have no authority or power to sell. They collect their money, and then before you know it, they disappear. You find out that you are just on your own. You've been scammed. So that's exactly what a lot of people have experienced. In fact, One of my cousins experienced it. He bought a land. A year down the line, he went to the site to check his property. Lo and behold, other people have resold the land. We saw a different beacon altogether, bearing a different beacon name and number, different from what he has. They've removed his own, and the buyers didn't know this. They did this before the buyer comes. So he paid, and now so this person has lost his money to scammers. Before you buy, here's my advice to you. Don't fall in love with the listing before you verify it. The property might be real, but the person behind the property might be a scammer. Verify, verify, and verify. Then comes the last one, and the most important one, the revoked title, quietly resold. This is heartbreaking. A friend has actually been a victim of this scam. You bought a property, you relaxed, confirmed everything, the document is clean. You might have fenced the property, and then you're hoping to start building, only to notice something funny. One day, maybe your workers get there, another person comes and puts a barricade. No trespassing. Keep off. What would you do? That's what scammers do. They have resold the same property they sold to you to another person. So while you are gearing up to start your development, you discover that the underlying interest or allocation has been revoked. It has been encumbered or otherwise compromised. And you're asking, why was I not carried along? Why was I not informed? Those are main questions, because at that point, it has little or no impact on the situation on ground. It's not going to change anything. You're already in a mess. You've been scammed. The fact that you have a document does not automatically mean that the transaction is safe. So before buying, you need to make proper due diligence about the property ownership, government interest, the ownership history, planning and government records, and where applicable, any encumbrances. So when people are rushing you for payment, you've got to step back and think twice. Don't let urgency replace verification. When you're buying real estate, you're not just buying land. You're buying the legal right to own land and use it. So, if there's one thing I want you to take away from this video is this. Never allow excitement replace due diligence. So whether you're buying land in Nigeria, you are abroad, verify before you transfer. Ask questions. Check documents. Confirm ownership. Investigate titles. Verify the seller. And where necessary, involve qualified professionals like property lawyers. Your money worked hard to get here, so let it work safe home. If this video has opened your eyes to something, please don't hesitate to share it with someone. The property you're buying today should never be a problem to you. It should be a lifelong asset, not a lifelong problem. See you in the next video. Call the number on your screen. Let's help you carefully evade or avoid any of this property. I'll be here waiting for you.